Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So today you are in for a treat because that guy, I don't know what he's doing.
Clean.
In his flip flops and white socks. He's gonna break his socks.
These are my work shoes.
We are working on this guy right here. The infamous Wicked FD Rx7. I think that's what he calls it. I don't know. Is it Wicked? Am I in the way? I'm always in the way. That's what he always says. I'm always in the way. So we are upgrading his brakes and suspension. Look. Oh, here we go.
I'll show you.
He don't want us to show what he got.
He's doing this the right way.
But you guys are in for a treat. Because it's baller status. So we're about to get right to it. Also, since he don't want me to show, but this is his other vehicle. This is, yeah. We worked on that. We put a motor in it. So yeah, we're gonna get started. I'm excited. Rolling.
Come on in.
Guess what, guys? We're about to do some stuff. So, here's the game plan. Mr. Fletcher, would you like to explain the game plan?
Sure. Let's go over what we're gonna do today. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is bring this car out and bring in the FD. And what we're gonna do with the FD is we're gonna change the braking system to lighter rotors, stronger calipers up front. Then we're going to change the coilover system, so we're putting some nice high-end Ohlins coilovers onto the car, and we're going to see what the difference between like a run-in-the-middle coilover versus the high-end coilover, what the weight difference is, and we're going to check out the weight difference between the factory shock, strut and spring setup versus like a high-end coilover. And same thing with the brake rotors. So I got the two-piece lighter brake rotors. We'll see what the difference in weight is for the single factory rotor to the two-piece lighter rotor. And at the end of the day, when we go out to the track next week, we're going to see how differently the car handles and see what kind of weight we're removing from the car as well. So after all of that, we have some sway bars from Siki. They have modified the S13, S14 front sway bar to fit the FD, and what that does is it makes it's a thicker sway bar, but it also gives you room, so if you're drifting an FD, you have room for your steering angle. And the factory sway bar kind of points this way. The modified S14 sway bar kind of points a little bit more straightforward, and so it mounts a little bit differently. So we'll go over that if we have time to. Alright, so also I wanted to point out that I got some Swift spring upgrade for the Ohlins coilovers. So I've already installed the Swift springs and I've already removed the Ohlins springs. So the coilover system is a very good coilover system, and this just makes it, that much better. So they're also a little bit lighter. Swift springs are probably the best on the market, and they're lighter. And when you're lighter, they react a little bit better to the suspension and the bumps that goes around the track, right? All right, let's get going.
So we are about to bring in. We're swapping cars. So here's a red car. I should be posting a video of us doing. I built the motor in this car. There's the motor. We dropped it in a couple weeks ago. So we should be finishing that up real soon. But we're gonna bring in this bad boy. Oh, this right here. Let me show you guys. This car is absolutely astounding. I call it the Wicked FD. I don't know why, but that's what we're calling it. So we're gonna swap cars. We're gonna push this one out because it doesn't run yet, the wide body FC, and we're gonna bring in that right there. Yes, that one. As you can see, wait, let me see if I can. Boom, right there. We're bringing that one in. Y'all see it? Y'all see it.
Okay.
So we're gonna put you guys on a time lapse, and we'll get started.
Here's the mailman.
We have parts. Oh. Oh. Thank you, Mr. Mailman.
Just delivered. Flown in all the way from Duarte to La Palma, 30 miles away. Chris from Lucky 7 sent out a bottle of Motul brake fluid so that when we bleed the brakes in the FD, we have enough fluid to do the bleeding. All right, let's go.
Shout out to Chris over at Lucky 7 Racing. Love that guy. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, let's get to it. All right, people, welcome back. So what we're doing is we're getting to weigh, just to show you guys the difference between a really good high performance coilover, an aftermarket coilover, and an OEM coilover, and what the differences are in weight. So
Okay, so this set came with the car. I bought the car from a guy who likes to drift and lives out here in Southern California. Good friend of ours, well, not good friend, but a friend of ours, buddy of ours we've known for a long time. These came with the car. They're from KTS. It's a common, if you look at those JDM magazines, option magazines and so forth, you'll see this brand there. It's not a high-end coilover by any means. It's pretty heavy, but it is a coilover system that you find from some JDM cars that like drifting, okay, because it's pretty sturdy. So let's see how much it weighs. We tried it on the smaller scale and it said error. So meaning that it's over 10 pounds because the small scale is about 10 pounds. So brought out the bigger scale, okay, and I'm gonna set it on the bigger scale, the digital. I'm just gonna hold it in place so it doesn't fall, and let's see what we come up with. Alright, so locked in right at 13.9, which is just about 14 pounds. Okay, so now let's take a look at the higher end Ohlins coilovers with the Swift springs, which are slightly lighter. How much lighter than the Ohlins springs? We're talking probably ounces, but every ounce does count when you want to put a serious car on the track.
every ounce.
Now we have front and back, so I'm weighing the front with the front. Okay, so versus the front versus the front. Let's try the food scale this time. Okay, I'll hold it in place so it doesn't fall. What do we got? Bouncing around at 8.9. There it is. So let's call it 9 pounds. Versus, what did we say, 14 pounds,
14,
right?
14, yep.
So that's an amazing 5-pound difference per corner. So just by changing from a run-in-the-middle coilover system to a high-end coilover system that's made of mostly aluminum, lightweight springs, aluminum top hat, fully adjustable, you're talking about a 5-pound difference per corner, so that's 20 pounds right there. You're shaving off the car. But 5 pounds per corner on just your suspension, that's a pretty good, it's pretty good weight savings. That's pretty respectable weight savings. All right.
Next, we got to do the factory, but
I'm curious on the front. The fronts are smaller, and maybe even
so the ones
lighter.
that we did were the rear.
Yes.
You said front. He said he said front.
Sorry,
He
this
said
is
front.
the rear.
Get him, you
This is the
guys.
rear.
Get no
This is
no.
the rear. Sorry
So
about that. So let's try the rear.
that's the rear.
Yeah, because the rear is a little bit shorter. Okay. So and it feels a little bit lighter to me. I'm just kind of curious to see what we got for the rear Ohlins with Swiss springs. Okay. Oh, it's a whole pound lighter.
Wow. Wow.
Right at 8 pounds. So the back, so we're really saving, well, let's see how much the rear for the JDM weighs. Okay. Let's see if we can trigger it. Okay, there it goes, triggered. Oh. 13.2, so it's a few ounces lighter than the front. But still, 13.2 versus 8, right?
That's a big difference.
Still 5 pounds, so it's, but it's a
That's-
little bit more than 5 pounds on the rear for the
So
for the Ohlins.
total of what? 20 pounds?
20 plus, almost 20 and a half. So that's really good. Almost 21 pounds total.
I want these coilovers for my FC.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
20 pounds total, people. All right, so we are going to jack this bad boy up. We're going to get the wheels off, and then we're going to weigh the stock, because I believe what's on here, the stock.
Yep, it's just got
Suspension setup?
factory suspension on here right now. It does have Takiko adjustable struts, but they're factory replacement struts. It's got the factory top hat and the factory springs, and so we'll see. Now I know the Takikos are a little bit lighter than the factory struts, but we'll see what we got. We'll see what happens.
I'm excited.
All right.
So we're going to put you guys on a time lapse. We're going to get this car up in the air, and we're going to start taking stuff off. We'll holla back.